Everybody, thanks as always for tuning in to PDubs Arcade Loft, where we always appreciate it when you come and hang out upstairs with us. Tonight, I'm joined for a special just hangout session with one of my best friends on the interwebs. That's right. We met on the internet. We became friends on the internet. Now we talk every day. Mike, it's almost like there's something more going on than, or maybe we're just friends and I'm reading the signs wrong. What do you think, Mike?
You could almost say we're comfortable enough to pick up the phone and answer while we're taking a dump.
That did happen yesterday. Mike called me when I was having a movement. Now, luckily, it wasn't a phantom poop, but it did. That did occur. That conversation did occur.
My favorite thing was PDubs picked it up, realized, oh shit, camera's on, and turned it off immediately. And I was like, you're pooping, aren't you?
Yeah, that was great. I was like, and I told Mike, I'm like, no, yes. Anyway, Mike, so I noticed a lot of the normal shows that broadcast about this hobby weren't on tonight. So I figured, I have like an hour free. And then after that hour, Mike, I'm determined to still sit here and edit a video and get a video posted because I've been so slow on content. But I really want to get the video in question. If anyone wants a sneak peek of what could possibly be published tonight or tomorrow, the video about that candy cab that I got at that auction. So hopefully I can get that edited and posted. I'm pretty excited about that one. So I want to get that done. Okay. So I figured Mike and we could talk about a few things. Like, we really don't want to spoil too much for Super Game Room Dudes on Friday, but just wanted to chill and hang out with you. I've been off the internet a lot lately and see how you're doing, see how the viewers are doing, because we're catching up with our viewers, as well as talk about just a few topics about some cool, exciting stuff that's going on in the world of gaming. So
now, to be fair, we discussed several times about doing some kind of midweek show, just me and you, that is like a sub Super Game Room Dude show. We did talk about doing that. So it feels like this is the pilot episode. You tell me if I'm wrong.
No, Mike, would I test somebody like that? Would I test somebody without them knowing to get viewer reaction? I would. Absolutely. All right, Mike. Well, before we get to the meat of the show, let's say hi and catch up with the viewers who are here in the live chat right now. We got 19K Foxes in the house, Biggie D's Arcade, couple of YouTubers making their faces known. Mark Whitman is here. We haven't seen Mark in a long time. Mark, how are you, man? We hope you're doing well. So happy Mark is here. Jason's here, one of the best moderators I've ever had on my channel. Love Jason. Carl O is here. Love Carl. Carl's the sweetest guy on the planet. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what video I click on, if I go to the comments section in this home arcade space, I usually see a comment from Carl. Doesn't matter if you have 200 subscribers or 50,000 subscribers. Carl leaves a great comment on every video he watches. Quentin's here, tagging. Nerd Lounge Master's here. I just subscribed to your YouTube channel the other day. Carl O is here. Alfred Berger is here. We love Alfred. GG Sterling Hall.
I love good guy.
Taggins here. Saved by Zero is here. Games Plus is here. Rhodey, can't forget Rhodey's here. Bobby's Arcade World. Bobby, I'm going to kick off the show talking about a claw machine that you might be interested in. So Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere, my friend. I'll make sure I get your claw machine talked about first. And also, Mike, I want to talk about the casino Cade a little bit. I've had some thoughts about it from Arcade One Up. I also want to talk about the Killer Instinct cabinet, what you and I plan on doing with the Killer Instinct cabinet from Arcade One Up. We're going to talk a little bit about some AtGames, iArcade stuff. We'll talk a little bit about the new Ninja Turtles DLC that just got announced, which looked very, very exciting, as well as our thoughts. Mike and I have both been playing Breath of the Wild. I'm not Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom the last couple of days. I finally finished Jedi Survivor. I was so happy to beat that game. I put Mike, so this will be real quick, then we'll get into the claw machine. So Star Wars Jedi Survivor, if you just play the storyline, like just the main missions and plow your way through, it's about a 19 to 20 hour game. So it doesn't really seem like much. But if you want to do every single rumor and side mission, according to the interwebs, it should take you roughly 50 to 55 hours to do everything, unlock and experience everything. I was at the final level where you get to Tanalore, so I knew if I went to Tanalore, I'd beat the game. So I was running around doing all these side missions the last few weeks. Mike, I ended up putting in about 40 hours on
Nice.
Star Wars Jedi Survivor. And after that, dude, I was like done. I was like, dude, I want to get to Tears of the Kingdom. I've put in 40 hours on this game. Yes, there's still 15 hours of content I could do, but forget it, I'm done. So I just went and did the final level. And what's cool too is, like all the modern games these days, even when you beat the main storyline, you can continue on and do all the side stuff, right? So so I could go back to it. Will I? I don't know. 40 hours is a big commitment.
So
You know
I'll
what I mean?
ask you a question. Like, what
Yeah.
I think of when I think of a very special game is a game that I get lost in, I fall in love with like that, and at no time do I feel like it was work. Like I'm just waiting to get to the end. And the weird thing is, when you leave it, do you almost feel like this gap in your life that you no longer have this experience anymore, that you got to move on to try to find something else? Or if you're just like, oh man, I'm glad that's over, that's when you know it was a good game, but it wasn't special to me. But if it does leave that gap and you're like, oh man, I'm gonna miss this. That's the true sign of a special game. I felt that way when I finished Resident Evil 4 remake. I was like, oh, I've really enjoyed my time with you,
Oh
and
yeah.
it sucked. But luckily, I had Tears of the Kingdom waiting, so I could just jump into another experience. So when you finished Jedi Survivor, was it more like, "Whoo, glad that's over," or was it like, "Oh, I'm gonna miss this.
Um
I'm hoping my
so
next experience will replace it."
so when you're running around and you're putting in hour after hour after hour doing all the rumors and side missions and the bounty hunter missions and stuff, and you're like, oh, I'm just sick of this. Like, I'm done. Like, I want to move on to other games in my pile. So I was let's just say I was a little agitated when I finally launched the Tanalore mission, the final mission. But the ending was so good and so beautiful and so well done. Like, I almost cried. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
going to spoil it for people out there who maybe you haven't had to experience it yourself. But if you actually play through the game, the final ending, especially the ending cinematics after the final battle, beautiful. Like
I,
brought a tear to my eye, and I was like, this was so worth it. It was so worth
I'm not PDubs here. I will intentionally spoil this for everybody. So, guys, Jedi
it.
Survivor, Darth Vader is Luke's father. You heard it here first.
Oh, that's too funny. Oh, a lot of my favorites coming in. We got Killer Penguins. I saw Chris. Chris has been here since before we started.
Ooh, I get to
Um,
dox people. Killer Penguins is actually Aaron.
Vernsky's here, my neighbor who lives down the street from me. What's up, Vernsky? Pliskin's here. We love Pliskin. He was happy that it's over, so he has more time to play his coin pusher. I want to talk about the coin pusher as well and the response to it. But before we get to the coin pusher, I promised Bobby's Arcade World that I would talk about a claw machine. So one thing that I'm doing, I don't know, and guys, what are some of the things? And put them in the live chat. I'll try and get some of them on the screen. What are some of the cool new things that you're trying to do to your game room, your arcade room? Are you trying to come up with other decorations? Are you trying to round out your collection with maybe some different machines and stuff? Like me personally, I got the coin pusher, I got the candy cab, and I might get a claw machine, and I definitely would love to get a dartboard. I'd like to just kind of like round things out. It'd be cool. Like I'm down to 10 arcade one ups, and they're like my 10 favorites. So I honestly think, Mike, I'm going to stay around 10 arcade one ups. That way I have room for all these other cool things and not just have an arcade one up loft. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it
Um,
makes sense. I mean, put what you want in your loft.
yeah. Jeff Sayer here said he made a slot machine. 19K Fox, he needs walls because he just moved. He's got to add walls. Multi-K Bet, this is a great thing that'll round out a game room. Having great lighting, like RGB lighting, having a great carpet. Multi-K Bet, are you going to put down like a carpet, like a carpet you would see in an arcade, the full ultraviolet fluorescent carpet and stuff? Let us know. I've been counting backwards from retirement, so I've been in a massive sell off because one day soon I'll retire to the RV life. Oh, that's the RV life. That's really cool. Matt Astro says he's out of space, so he just buys the PCBs and he puts them in his X-Men versus Street Fighter cabinet. There you go. Skee Ball, there you go. There you go. Alfred, more games and movie posters. These are all great things. This stuff excites me, Mike, because as we've said this a million times, when I first started this channel, I was just covering game room decor. And so I just love the concept of putting crap all over your house. You know what I mean? Anyway, let's get to this. So this is coming from Game Room Theater, and I just caught this on Instagram. Mike, you want to tell everyone who Game Room Theater is? I think you could explain it best.
Yeah, Game Room Theater is actually a guy here in Canada. He's got this amazing, basically theater room in his basement where he's also got games. It's sports related, and that's how he really became famous. He's a huge Instagram influencer. He's a huge TikTok influencer, so much so that electronic companies have reached out. They understand that he has this following now, and they are doing stuff with him, sending him shit. So Arcade One Up, typically, he's the only Canadian that Arcade One Up sends demo units out to. And also on top of that, I got the same.
And Mike, you're not bitter about that at all, are you, Mike?
No, not even a little bit.
Keep going. Keep going.
So on top of that, recently, this is the one I'm really bitter about. He was writing about his experience at CES, and he got to talk to the Stern people. So apparently, they're going to send him a revolving pinball machine for him to display in his game room as well. So expect him to get like probably a Foo Fighters pretty soon, and then every now and then they'll just ship it out in and out for him to display and advertise. Lucky son of a bitch.
Yeah. So what we got going on here is, what's his name? Jeff just threw this in the live chat. He goes, I have a similar claw machine from Viver. So if you could recall, I did a video about a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago. Hell, it could have been 3 months ago, where we were talking about the Viver claw machine, which you could buy at some retailer here in the United States. It's about $400 or $500, and it's a desktop claw machine. Looks very similar in style as to this stand-up claw machine. But this particular machine is actually a full-fledged stand-up mini claw machine, which could fit into a lot of our game rooms. And let's get this off the screen, and let's actually show you what this thing is. So if you go to candymachines.com, and I'm going to put it in the live chat here. So candymachines.com for people who are interested in. This is where Game Room Theater got his claw machine. So, of course, I went and I took a peek. And, of course, because this is a pretty big unit with a lot of mechanical parts, you can assume that it's going to be a little bit expensive. Now, typically, these claw machines are about $1,200, Mike. $1,200. Right now, they're on sale for $990. So they're about 20% off. And, you know, claw machines, I've seen claw machines at auctions and stuff like that. I've seen people selling claw machines here on various marketplaces locally, but they're typically like the big claw machines that you see in like the arcades. And if there's one thing that, you know, I'm a big fan of is having stuff that's more of a smaller form factor, because that way I could actually fit it in my house along with a bunch of other stuff. But this is it right here. This is the Candy claw machine. They come in various artwork styles. This is the space themed one. You notice how it kind of looks a little like Space Invaders? If you kind of look at the side panels here, it looks a little like Space Invaders. And let's see, can we zoom in? Can we zoom in? And you know, it's all glass, all metal. It has the pretty much the same setup here as those Viver claw machines, which I've covered before, where you actually have the joystick, the button. You could set it up to free play, ticket redemption, things like that. And it's about $1,000 product. $1,000 product. Now, Mike, you have little kids. Do you think your daughter would love something like this in her game room?
Oh my God, Scarlett loves the claw machine. We have a Denny's by us, and like Scarlett just wants to go, so we can go over and play the claw machine. And I made the mistake very early on of first couple times I took her. I was lucky enough; I actually pulled a couple of prizes out. So now she expects every single time we go, I'm going to be able to pull a prize out. So it's getting more and more expensive every time I go to Denny's. But yeah, like something like this, Scarlett would go apeshit for. She would be nuts. We actually have a little. My mother gave it to her, and it's a cheap little plastic one, but she has her own little plastic claw machine that she actually plays with herself. That's how much she likes claw machines.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, that's cool. And stuff like this could be fun. I mean, I know my wife loves claw machines. You know, when we go to the arcade, she plays coin pushers, claw machines, and light gun games. My wife does not like playing racing games or
Oh,
really
nice.
arcade games for that matter. Like she'll play like Pac-Man. She loves Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, like when we go to the arcade, but she really, that's kind of it. But she always gravitates towards this stuff, which typically to me is more wasting money. But hey, if you own it, you're not wasting any money except the cost to buy the product, right? I think that this is pretty cool. And honestly, for $1,000, I mean, is it really too expensive for what it is? I honestly don't think so, considering this is all real mechanical, commercial grade parts. So $989, Mike, I might do it. I might get one.
Well,
I
it's
might
either
do it.
this or a Killer Instinct Pro. I mean, it's up to you.
I mean, when I saw Game Room Theater's Instagram video pop up in my feed, Mike, I got a lot of FOMO for this thing. I was like, man, that looks so cool. So yeah, they got various styles. Let's see if we can find here. Let's see. Here he comes again. Let's look at it one more time. I mean, look at it, Mike. It's like the right size. Oh, get out. Sorry, my dog just stepped on me. My dog just tripped over my wires.
It happens. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a 3/4 claw machine, but made with industrial parts.
Yeah. So I kind of like it.
Commercial,
Oh,
sorry, commercial parts.
yep. Oh, and Bobby even says there's a coupon code summer for 100 off. Mike, I have to mute myself. I'm about to sneeze. Can you take over the show?
So, guys, what you're going to hear in the background is PDubs sneezing. You probably won't actually hear it, but you can imagine what it sounds like, and it will be majestic. I'll tell you a funny story. I worked at a call center when I was first out of university as a manager, and one of my colleagues there, my friends, was out in the smoking section, and he actually sneezed, and the sneeze was so hard he actually broke his neck from sneezing, and like immediately fell down and started like convulsing and had to go to hospital. It was crazy.
Wasn't there a professional wrestler who sneezed and hurt their back or their neck? Do you
Jeez,
remember who it was? It was
no,
during
I
the
don't know if
Attitude. It was during the Attitude Era, I think.
I don't remember that one. I'd have to look into it. And I'm
Was it Kurt Angle or was it?
jeez. Well, Kurt Angle wrestled with a broken freaking neck, right? Like,
Yeah,
and I don't mean fake wrestling. I mean like he wrestled in the Olympics with a broken neck.
yeah. I think somebody in the live chat will remember. If you guys remember, there was a wrestler, Attitude Era WWE. It made a lot of news. He sneezed so hard, he threw out his back and he had to take time off.
Man, it happens. Like that shit happens all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah. Hey, Twisted Gaming TV's here. Twisted, you got a claw machine in your game room, man? I'm thinking about getting one now that I got a coin pusher. I'm gonna get a claw machine. I want to get a dartboard. I got my candy cap. Super excited about my candy cap. So
How have you not bought the dartboard yet? This is all you've talked about for years. There's got to be
because
some kind of
well,
quality
I
one out
well,
there.
you know me. I want something that's basically electronic. You know what I mean? I want it to do stuff. And the question is do you want one that's these dartboards that are like full-fledged stand-up dartboards that take up a lot of space, or do I want a smaller one that is probably cheaper, but also that I could hang on a wall and move around as I need to, right? Go ahead.
We're talking about wrestlers, and a lot of people have thrown it up in the chat. So I just want to say it really quickly. And I'm
Oh
going to
yeah,
swear on. I'm going to swear on your show, and I apologize for doing this,
that's
but
fine.
the Iron Sheik actually passed away, and through his
Terrible.
contributions in wrestling, but mainly his his Twitter account and just the hilarity that is provided for the last couple of years. I know it's probably not officially him, but man, oh man, I had so much fun reading his tweets every day. It was fuck the Hulk Hogan every single day, and I lived for it. So I'm so sad the Iron Sheik passed away. I remember him being one of the
Yeah.
big bads. Like when I first started watching wrestling in the 80s, I've got a mug downstairs with him on it. And it's actually from Rockin' Wrestling, right? So it's
Mm.
Hogan, Andre, Junkyard Dog on one side. On the other side, it's like Piper, Andre. Oh, Andre was on the Good Guys. Piper, Iron Sheik, Nikolai Volkov. So yeah, Iron Sheik was a big part of my childhood, and it was really sad to see
Yeah.
that news today.
Yeah, when Sheik dropped the title to Hogan, that launched Hulkamania.
Oh yeah, big time.
That was the start of Hulkamania. Even though Hogan had been already wrestling in the regionals, they
AWA,
weren't
the
they weren't
American
they,
Wrestling
they
Association.
didn't they weren't called indies back then. They
No,
were regions, territories.
well,
So
there was
he was wrestling in the smaller territories and he building up a name for himself. And then the WWE got him, had him pin the Sheik. Hulkamania was born. We'll never forget it, right? We'll
well,
never.
and there's so much backstory there. Before
Yeah.
WWE became WWE, I mean,
Mhm.
WWE was the New York territory. Everything was
Yep.
territorial.
It was
AWA
territory. Mhm.
AWA was another territory. The problem is AWA actually could be where WWE is today, except they were too old school. They wouldn't do the new things. So they had Hogan there for years, and he was their most over babyface, but they just refused to give him the W over Nick Bockwinkel. They just kept like, start, stall, and Vince put the rocket ship on him, and away they went. Vince is a genius, but what made him so smart back in the early day was having the business connections he did with the mafia, possibly. he did cover up a murder for Jimmy Superfly Snuka, so maybe. But he had all this availability toys and ideas that were new and going against the grain from the old territorial carnival style. And he went and stole talent, stole all the best talent from everybody else, put it in the right spotlight, and it just went from there. And people also forget she's not in the Hall of Fame, which is bullshit. But how important Cyndi Lauper was to launch in WWE. Sure, Hulk Hogan beating the Iron Sheik was huge, but if it wasn't for Cyndi Lauper and tying her name, bringing WWE onto MTV, never would have become the success it was.
Yeah, I'm surprised they added her to the celebrity wing of the
Bullshit.
Hall of Fame.
Bullshit.
Yeah, she deserves it. She deserves it. Okay, let's continue on with some gaming stuff here, Mike. If you guys are interested in Mike and I doing a wrestling podcast, do me a favor, put a one in the chat. If you're not interested, keep your mouth quiet. Mike and I got a lot of wrestling knowledge, man. I swear. I was 5 years old when my dad had me start watching wrestling. So that means I've been watching wrestling for 37 years. 37 years, Mike.
Yeah.
That's a lot of information that you store. You know what I mean? Anyway, yeah, let us know, guys. And we can do that. Okay, let's pivot over, Mike. I want to talk a little bit about the casino case since we're talking about some weird oddball things. We talked about this claw machine. Which, by the way, guys, I don't know if what the live chat said about the claw machine. Some people said it was cool. Some people said they didn't like it. Mike, what did you think about that claw machine I showed you? Should I not spend $1,000 on it? I think it looks kind of cool. Let me know.
I
Talk me
mean,
out of it, Mike. The way we talked you out of. You want to
yeah,
tell
no,
what
no,
we
no,
talked
no.
you?
We'll talk about that later. I almost broke today.
Mike
Almost
almost broke.
Almost
But
broke.
we
6
talked.
months
We
and
saved
counting.
him. We saved you.
So, yeah. Well, no, you didn't save me. I knew what I was going to do. I talked to my wife about it, and she was like, "Yeah, if you want." And I was like, "You know what? Fuck it. I don't want to." So, the claw machine, I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
In terms of my enjoyment, $1,000 by the time it gets here in Canada, I don't even know if it's available. You do the exchange, you're talking about
Mhm,
$1,400. For
mhm.
me, that's a lot of money, man. I don't think I want to invest that much in something that I don't know if I'll get enough enjoyment out of.
Well,
My kids might love it, but
19K Fox had a great comment on your live stream on Monday where you were talking about an arcade you'd like to get, and 19K Fox recommended that the community each send you a piece of the cabinet.
No, no one else do that. Every time I do that, they're like, "This is some back alley plan for Mike
But
to
that
get
was
something."
well, he was obviously kidding, and
Yeah,
that's obviously not gonna happen, but that was hilarious. Can you
yeah.
imagine if, like, Killer Penguins sent you the monitor, and Bobby sent you the marquee, and Pliskin sent you the power cable? You know what I mean? Like, it'd be kinda funny. It'd be kinda funny. Yeah, we talked about the Beaver. I've done a video on that. So the Beaver's like this one, but half the size and also half the cost. As
You know what I'm amazed by is that with
Mhm.
all the stuff that Arcade One Up has come out with over the years about like
Yeah.
trying to come out with new ideas and stuff like that,
Mhm.
how they haven't had more of a mindset to do kind of what New Wave Toys has done with coming out with other products that could be three-quarter scale replicas that would go good with their already three-quarter scale arcade line. Something like a claw machine. We talked about a dartboard, ice cold beer. It's that kind of extra shit that would really supplement their lineup as opposed to Polaroid photo booths and infinity game tables and stuff like that. So I think there's an opportunity for them to do something.
Yeah,
They're
that'd be
already
good.
a toy company, so
Why not? Why not? I remember, do you remember the first year they were around, or was it the second year where they were like, we're selling the plushies, we're selling the lights, like all that stuff they don't do no more, man.
yeah, I know. Well, obviously, obviously, it didn't penetrate the market well. I mean, you got to remember, lots of people probably bought it, but Arcade One Up doesn't sell to people. Arcade One Up sells to distributors and retail stores.
So Vince McMahon hates when people sneeze in front of him or he sneezes himself because he hates that he can't control it. Weird
Yep.
stuff when you Google WWE and sneezing. I'm that way when people yawn. If someone yawns in front of me, I instantly yawn. I can't control it. It's weird. Even if I'm not tired, I can be wide awake. Like all of a sudden I yawn. All of a sudden I yawn. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this Casino Cade since we're talking about some goofy stuff. So the Casino Cade, it appears might be coming out soon from other YouTube videos I've seen on YouTube. That's what people are saying. But is it going to be changed at all from what we saw before, Mike? Or is the information more like, hey, this is what you're going to get? What do you think? Have they made the screen bigger or anything? Any
No,
revamps?
this is honestly one of the first years I literally have no information on what is coming out from Arcade One Up, any of that stuff, despite what anybody
Yeah.
thinks. I have no idea. We know that the Casino Cade got pulled back
Uh-huh.
and they were making some changes to it. So I can't remember from the announcement. Did it have an arm on the announcement, a pull arm, or was it always just
No,
the button?
it always looks like this as far as I know.
Yeah, always just the button. So I don't know what they're going to do. I had a conversation with the Brick here in Canada the other day, and they just
Uh-huh.
asked me. They said, "Do you think this will sell well?" And I was like, "I don't know. I mean, it's not a product I'm personally interested in, but I
Uh-huh.
mean, if you're on any of these home arcade groups for years, people have been going buying slot machines, other shit like that, exactly like we were just talking about as a buffer in their game room. They want something different, like these pachinko machines and stuff like that. So I think it's something that could be a really cool ancillary item. I'm seeing some people in Canada excited about it. They're like, yeah, I definitely want to get it. Again, I don't think it's for me, but I don't know. Something different might be interesting.
Yeah, like when this CNET video came out eons ago, this was back during, what was it, CES time, right? When this came out and I showed this to my wife, we all talked about it on our streams. My wife thought it was really cool. My wife loves Wheel of Fortune. It's one of her favorite game shows. And what you call it? She liked the idea. Like when we go to the casino, she only plays slots. She doesn't play any other games, whereas I'm usually playing blackjack or I might play roulette or things like that. Tried to get into craps, but Mike, I just don't think I'm good enough for craps. Like there's a lot of action going on at that table. You know what I mean? I like to like sit down, play a slower pace game, if you will. But either way, so this thing's interesting. Very tiny screens and stuff. Like, I really don't want to buy it. We'll see what the price comes in at. If I do end up owning one, it'll be because my wife said, "Hey, I'd like to check it out." You know what I mean?
You're definitely
So
going to
we'll
get
see.
one. I mean,
I
I'm not going to
uh,
pretend that you're not getting one.
I really do, I'm not pretending. I just really
I know
like
you don't want it. I'm just
like
telling you you're going to get it.
well, I mean, sometimes you have to buy stuff for the spouses. That way they have something to play in the game room. Like that coin pusher machine that we got. We backed that Kickstarter because my wife really thought it was cool and she loves coin pushers. And of course, if I can get stuff to put in the game room to get her in the game room to play with me, um, it's money well spent in my opinion. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know how many times I've been in my loft, turn on all my machines, and I yell downstairs, "Hey, anyone want to come play?" "Oh yeah, yeah, we'll be up there in a minute." Neither my wife or my son come upstairs, and I'm by myself playing, a machine. So it's cool to have stuff to get them involved. All right, I put in the live chat. I asked the live chat, "Are you guys interested in this Wheel of Fortune?" Which I think they're changing the name. I think it's going to be called the Wheel of Fortune Deluxe something. I don't know if they're even going to call it the Casino K.
Yeah,
Casino K.
I think the casino connotation maybe scared off some of the retailers. They want it to be family
Mhm.
friendly, so they want to avoid the whole gambling aspect of it or 19 plus.
Okay. I like stupid fat hobbits theory right here. Is this the 1980s machine that they've been teasing?
I will break the thing over my knee if this is the 1980s release.
Bobby's Arcade World thinks it's going to have high demand and it's going to sell out. Andy
I,
says no. Keep going. Go ahead, Mike.
I don't care what sells out. I hope it does because my hope is I hope this does really well and it becomes a cash cow for them, so they get cool R&D money to do weird and wacky shit, like make a
Yeah.
journey cab or something bizarre, like Qbert, something they're a little less sure is going to sell.
So we believe it's going to be around the 500-ish
Yeah,
range, right? Is that what we believe it's going to be? So I
that's what
typed that in
they
live chat.
that's what they said back at CES. $500.
It's just the main screen is so small. I understand the upper screen is small, but the main screen is so small. Like if they actually put in like, typical arcade one up size monitor, I think it would be more appealing. Because when you look at that thing, all you see is bezel. You know what I mean? On the main screen. I think that's the number one turnoff for me is the main screen being
Yeah.
so small. That's the number one turnoff for me. So good stuff. All right, lots of great feedback in the live chat, guys. Thanks so much. We greatly appreciate it. All right, Mike, what else did we want to chat about? That I
I
was.
don't know, man. You just told me. I'm going live. You
Well,
wanted me
I
to be
said it.
here.
I said it at the beginning. I didn't write it down this week. I'm
I'm
not a
not a
professional.
scientist.
I'm not a professional, so I forgot to write down. We talked about the Casino Cade. We
You
talked
said you
about the.
wanted to talk about AtGames, iArcade.
Oh wait, I want to talk about the coin pusher. So I just did a review on my channel for the Coin Pusher 365, and I got a lot of great comments on the video, and I love the honest feedback from the viewers. A lot of viewers were telling me, "Hey, too expensive, no interest," or "Hey, it's not my kind of product." And then a lot of viewers were like, "This is so cool." There were actually a couple people in the comments who said, "I went ahead and I ordered one." After watching the video, right? So I just wanted to get like this live reaction from folks. If you didn't get a chance to watch that video, if you did watch the video, I appreciate it because it's the only video I put out in a week. So, but let me know what you guys think. Mike, what did you think? Did you watch my coin
I
pusher
did.
video
Yeah.
and what?
It's neat. I mean, it's not something for me. This is not something I'm into, but I did consider it. My mom actually, since she's been internet enabled, this is what she does. She watches YouTube and she watches coin pusher videos. She does this motion all the time. Whoosh. So that's why I watched your review. I looked at it and said, is this something I could possibly buy my mom that would bring her a lot of joy, probably? So
Yep. Coin pusher looks awesome. Very cool. Nerd Lounge says, I thought it was awesome. I wish it was a little bit cheaper. Yeah, I mean, it is $700, but it's 44 pounds. It's a pretty heavy thing. It's all metal and some plastic, 90% metal, if you will. It's got mechanical moving parts. It's they say it's commercial grade on their website and things like that. It's just it's costly. It's $700. Now, luckily, the Kickstarter backers like myself, I think we got. Oh, geez, what did we get? maybe $100 off. Like we didn't get that much off what the retail price is, but anyway, I like it. I think it's cool. My wife loves it. So, she ordered tiny candy, like little itty bitty candies and little candy, like kind of like Halloween candy. You know what I mean? She got this big 3-pound package of candy that arrived, and she's gonna put that in there. So, I was like, "Thanks, hon. I'm diabetic. I can't eat that stuff." But she's like, "Oh, it's okay. I'll take the winnings. I'll take the winnings." So I think it's cool. I like different weird, wacky stuff. I mean, geez, anyone's been following this channel for a while. If anyone's been following this channel for a while, you guys know I like some goofy stuff.
Yeah, we do like goofy stuff, but I think sometimes you have to remember this community was born and raised on home arcade products that were relatively cheap. I mean, when Arcade 1-Up first came out, they were how much were they in the US? $2.99?
Arcade 1-Up?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, the
2.99. So
original without a riser, and then you'd have to spend 50 on a riser.
So I'll give you a flashback here now
Yeah.
to one of our first episodes of the Super Game Room Dudes. We had Ice on, and Ice showed us all this really cool stuff that during the pandemic they were going to be exploring into the home market.
Mhm.
And everybody in the chat was like, wow, too much, too much, too much. So we explore these unique items that are kind of a little bit outside the space and more in line with how much this stuff actually costs. And that's
Right.
going to be the reaction from most of the fans. We're looking for cheaper alternatives to that, right?
Well, I mean, I like cost-effective stuff too.
Yeah.
But there's that old adage, Mike, that sometimes you get what you pay for. You ever hear that phrase?
Which most people have found out the last couple of years.
I mean, think about it. Like, when I looked at all the what we like to call them desk poop, tabletop, desktop arcades, right? Like, you have like Basic Fun, My Arcades, and these things were like anywhere from 10 to like $30. You get a $10 to $30
Yeah.
product, versus you spend $150 on like a New Wave Toys or a Numbskull. You're like, wow, why am I spending so much money on this? But once you get them and you see the quality of what you
So
got,
good. So
you're
good.
you usually end up saying money well spent. You usually
Yeah.
end up saying money well spent. So yeah. We started about 30 minutes ago, Jay. We're probably only going to go another 20 minutes or stuff because
Another 8-9 hours. We'll see.
I'm
I don't got
determined.
much going on tomorrow.
I'm determined to get some editing done tonight and get a video posted.
I was supposed to move one of my arcades out of my
Mhm.
storage room where my arcades are right now into my game room to start filming stuff, and I did not do that. I got the Master Sword though, so yeah, that's a win.
Yeah, yeah. What was the joke that you were going to tell people when we were talking? Oh, arcade. Okay, let's talk about Mike. Mike almost broke today.
Oh
It
yeah,
was pretty funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
This would be a Game Genie confession.
yeah, let me just bring something up on the screen here now, guys. 1 second. Uno momento. I'm gonna take down
Yeah.
my porn and bring something else up. Is he lying? Is he not? We don't know.
I can't tell if you're lying or not. I can't tell.
Well, I don't want to get your channel taken off YouTube.
Yeah.
Anyways, just give me uno momento. It was actually a pretty good sale that went up. I don't know if it's clearance, but it's a sale that went up today here in Canada. So I'm going to bring it up on screen and show you guys. Oh, share screen. I can't remember how to do this. It's been so long.
Are you able to share your screen?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you can. Oh, look at that. I'm using StreamYard today, not Restream. So,
Yeah. So, guys, this is the brick here in Canada. So, this is Canadian money. So, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cabinet is usually I think it's $8.29 or $8.49 here in Canada. And it's on sale for, it might be $7.99.99 right now because it's been out for a while. But it went on sale for $300 off this past week. So, now it was on sale. I saw it today posted, and I was like, I do miss my Turtles Arcade 1-Up. I can play people online. I talked to my wife, and she was like, "Oh yeah, jump on it. Do it." But at the end of the day, I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it, and I said, "F it. Just not going to get it. 19K Fox was not helpful. He told me it looked like ass and cancer, which are two things that should not go together.
Did he really say
Yeah.
that?
He said, "Don't buy it. It looks like ass and cancer."
Well, my rationale for you was, I think, a little more logical. I agreed with, who was it? B or somebody said they might do an XL
Yeah,
or
I know that.
deluxe XL Pro, whatever the hell you want to call it, version
I
of
don't give a shit
Turtles.
about a deluxe, but if they
You
do an
know,
XL, I'd be very interested in getting a. Like I said in my video, I'd be all in
yeah,
if they did an original Turtles in Time, not Turtles in Time, the original Turtles with the original Turtles art in an
yeah,
XL format. I would not be able to say no. I would buy that.
yeah. So yeah, like yeah, the artwork on this one is just not for me.
There's some things that like the turtles look stupid on it. I don't understand the art, but it is arcade accurate. I like the purple. I like the green. There's a lot of things I like about it. There's things there that are pretty about it. The marquee is horrible. It has one of the worst arcade one-up marquees I've ever seen. Never seen it in person, and I don't know. At the end of the day, I thought it would be fun to play Turtles online. I miss having a Turtles arcade cabinet, but nah, I can't right now. I'm not willing to jump in. I'll wait.
Yeah, good
I
stuff.
can't break my streak. I'm 6 months now without buying an arcade one up.
Has it really been
6
6 months
months. Yeah,
for
half a
you?
year.
You're crazy, because you would buy a couple a month.
Well,
You had so many.
it's funny because everybody likes to make that comment, but last year I didn't. After I bought Terminator 2 in January, I never bought another arcade one up at full price until September when I bought Mortal Kombat 30th. And then that was it. Everything I bought last year, I waited for it to go on sale because the releases were delayed here anyways. I wasn't getting new content out. So I'd wait and it went on sale for like $200 off. That's when I'd grab it. Even the new cabs last year, like when NFL Blitz came out, I waited till it went on sale for $4.99. That's when I bought it. So it was regular $7.99. I got it for $300 off. Same with Marvel vs. Capcom. I got that for like $250 off. That's the only reason I bought them.
Yeah, but you had TMNT and you sold it,
Yeah.
and now you want to buy it again. Mike, I'm glad we talked you out of it earlier.
Well, TMNT was the first arcade one off that really hooked me too.
It just seems to me it would be another title. It would be another title that they would eventually re-release,
Oh, yeah.
because they re-release their stuff. They got to pay off these licenses. They got to make money too. So I'm pretty sure they'll re-release it in some version shortly. Nerd Lounge Master, by the way, says he would love to do a TNT online game stream with you. Paul is teasing you. 6 months because Michael B couldn't buy anything, not because he didn't try.
Paul, be nice to me, or I'm going to send nostalgia to your house.
I love what Chris Zeke said here. You should get an arcade one up 6-month sobriety coin or something. That's funny. All right.
It's not because I couldn't buy anything. I just can't buy anything new. There's been lots of sales. I've resisted. It's just nothing new.
Now, I did want to touch on that arcade one up Killer Instinct arcade cabinet. So, as everyone knows, I'm a Mortal Kombat guy. Love Mortal Kombat. Favorite fighting game franchise. In my opinion, the best fighting game franchise. So I finally got the arcade one up Killer Instinct only because it was so cheap. Did a review on it. And wouldn't you know it, after spending time, Mike, with that arcade, I absolutely loved it. I think it's one of the best products they've ever done. I think a lot of that goes to Code Mystics for all the work they've put in after the fact. It's a shame that the product wasn't initially released, because I remember, Mike, when the product first came out, it was getting a lot of heat because there was issues with the game's performance and things like that, and missing features. And Code Mystics went in over the last year and have added all that. So for someone who's new to the arcade, who just picked it up, brand new customer for that machine myself, ended up being a good experience for me, right? Like if I had reviewed that thing a year ago, I would have been like, this is stupid, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? But I ended up giving that arcade a very positive review. I think it's one of the best arcades Arcade One Up has done. So Mike and I were talking, and since we had so much fun doing Bad Dudes, we are going to do a Battletoads live stream, and because we can play Battletoads online, right? On that arcade, Mike?
Yeah.
So When do you think we would do that? Because that would be a lot of fun.
Do you want to do it tomorrow night?
No, not tomorrow night.
Let's do it
Not
tomorrow night.
not Thursday.
Why not?
No, I don't want to do it Thursday. How about Saturday?
Oh, I can't do it Saturday. Well, actually, I might be able to do it Saturday. I might be able to do it this Saturday.
Let's do it Saturday.
Okay, well, we
Yeah.
will tentatively schedule it to do it Saturday.
All right, Saturday. Yeah, cool. A lot of my favorite shows are on the TV and the YouTubes on Thursdays, Mike. I don't want to miss my stuff. I got to watch my stories.
Nah, that's true. I don't want to interfere with what anybody else got going on. I do have a question from Bobby Broadway I wanted to show really quickly. He asked me, does Real Arcade stuff ever pop up here? So just if you could bring up my screen for a second.
Yeah.
So this is the Facebook Marketplace, and there have been some really good deals pop up before I was knowledgeable enough to know they were good. Probably some of the things I really regret not getting was I missed out on a Funhouse pinball machine for $4,000 Canadian. But like nothing really shows up. And one time there was a Return of the Jedi arcade machine in working order for $600. So 2 times I really missed out on stuff, but it's crap. Like if you look at the stuff that's up here, there's a Godzilla Stern pinball machine for $10,000. It's a Pro. There's a Tekken 3 for $1,000 that's not in great shape. There's alpine skiing, this NASCAR racing game. Like everything's arcade one up. You're hard pressed to find anything that's really exciting. You get down here, there's a Frankenstein Pac-Man, Jambo Safari, crappy this guy Mr. Arcade that makes home arcades here, so you can buy a multicade from him. This is one I'm actually really excited about, but there's a lot of work that would have to go into them. He's selling both of these for $500, but like they're both jacked up. I've been looking at this for a while. Arctic Thunder. So this might be something I eventually pull the plug on, but you're going to be into thousands of dollars of parts needed to fix it, and none of them are available here. There's a Street Fighter Big Blue that has a multi-card in it. You don't even get the original card. And then there's project stuff. Like a buddy of mine is selling like a Cyclone Williams pinball machine for $1,500, but you're talking like major restore that I don't know how to do. There's a Project Arabian and Venture, a Stern Scramble that is asking too much. There's a Phoenix for $500, but it's jacked. So when this stuff comes up, I usually reach out to Pitbull and I'll ask him about it, and he just tells me over and over again, way too much money. You should be able to get it for this.
Yeah.
Smashing Drive, I did look at this to see, but like everything's messed up. So unless I know how to fix it and can get the parts, like no, there is not a lot here. If there was, believe me, I would have Real Arcade machines in my house.
Yeah, I mean, I've been haggling with a lot of people on a lot of the pinball machines in my area because I would like to get a couple more pinball machines. I want to have a total of 6. I have room for 6 real pinball machines, and I have 3 plus 1 in the garage, so I have 4. So I need a couple more. But pinball prices are through the roof right now. Absolutely through the roof. Oh, Keith, yeah, one of the ones in the garage is the Big Top pinball. I literally just need to paint it. Mike, I've been so lazy. I need to paint it. The first time I tried painting it, I tried using a stencil because I had to paint it white and then add the red stripes because it just has white and red stripes on the sides, like a Big Top pinball machine. It's the same artwork on the sides, and I screwed up the red stripes, Mike. It looks so horrible. So I repainted it all white. I just got to get the red stripes on there. I got to get them straight and perfect and perfectly measured, 3 inches across every 6 inches. And if I could get the damn red stripes on there, it'll be fully done. And I'm going to end up flipping it. I'm not going to keep it, but I'll sell it as a, restored pinball machine. But there's a lot of pinball machines out there, Mike, people are like, pinball machine might be worth like $2,000. They're asking like $5,000.
Yeah. Someone posted on one of the Canadian pinball groups I follow today, a Tales from the Crypt, and they wanted $10,000 for it. And I was like, you're wacky. And in Canadian money, that's a $6,500 to $7,000 machine in good condition. Like, I don't know where buddy got $10,000. He just randomly said, 10,000. That's what I want.
Yeah. I was getting so upset that I couldn't get the red stripes painted on that Weko Big Top pinball machine, even using a stencil. Because guys, I'm not a painter. What's funny is I reached out to Escape Pod Online and also Sabo, And they're like, "Hey, man, if you just want us to print you, some red and white vinyl." But the original art pinball machine had the artwork painted on. So that's why I want to paint it. Like I could just get red and white candy cane striped vinyl and just stick it on there and be done with it. But trying to paint it, you know what I mean? That's the funny thing. Yeah, I tried doing a stencil. It wasn't tape, and it didn't work out so well. It looked like hell. I had to repaint the whole thing white again and start over. I just need to add the stripes. Okay. We'll get there eventually, Mike. We'll get there. I've just been so busy. I haven't been in, and also here in Arizona, dude, it's so hot now. Like going in the garage sucks. I don't have an air conditioned garage. My garage is like 90 to 100 plus degrees during the day. It's hot in there. You know what I mean?
You
don't
just
want to
play
be
pinball naked. That's what I do.
you don't really
It's
don't want to be
warm.
in there. You really don't want to be in there working on projects. It's just so hot, sweating like a pig.
Swampy.
Anyway, Mike, was that it?
No, we got lots more to talk about. AtGames, iArcade.
Well, I don't want to go too much longer.
No,
just a couple minutes.
Another
longer.
couple hours. Nothing too long.
Stop, Mike. I want to get stuff done. Okay, so AtGames. So AtGames, what was I gonna say? So hold on a second. Has this been confirmed?
Yeah, I just saw it on social media too. So
did they confirm Punk?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Punk was announced last week. Punk was announced his returning.
Punk was announced last week?
Yeah, so
I thought it was still a rumor.
He's gonna be on the debut episode of Collision, and it's Punk and FTR versus the Bullet Club and Samoa Joe. So that's rumored to be the top feud on Collision going forward is Joe versus Punk. They're longtime friends, longtime rivals.
It's gonna be
FTR are really close friends with Punk, so I'm excited. I'm happy to see Punk back. He actually got booed when he was announced. So
yeah, I'm from Chicago, and Punk, hometown favorite. Every time I went to see wrestling in Chicago and CM Punk was there, we blew the roof off that building. The people from Chicago, we love Punk, even after what happened a couple months ago, which now I'm thinking the whole thing was a shoot. Or not a shoot.
We'll never know.
Because honestly, like in my opinion, he got hurt when he won the title, and they knew in the locker room before they came out for the fake press conference, they knew he was going to be out for a long time with the injury. And they're like, okay. And then they started this whole fight thing, which I honestly think now, like I thought it was real. Like I was like, oh my God, AEW is going to release Punk. I think it was all fake to begin with. He's just been resting, getting healed up. You know what I mean? And now he's ready to come back.
One of the things that I don't like about wrestling right now is the backstage journalism.
Great match.
Like I don't want to know. I don't want to know about all this stuff. I don't want to know about people fighting and stuff like that. You know when I want to know about that? 20 years from now, so I can look back on it and they'll be like, "Did you know that Punk and Hangman Adam Page didn't get along?" That stuff's fun. But I don't want to know about it. I don't want that stuff to interfere with my enjoyment of what's happening on screen. So I don't like a lot of the backstage reporting.
Some of the best things I've watched lately about wrestling are these like not AMC. I'm sorry. It's on Peacock where they have the feuds, like the best
rivalries.
Rivalries. Yeah, that show.
Yeah.
If you watch those episodes and like they interview these guys and they're like telling the truth, like I hated this guy behind the scenes. You know what I mean?
I love hearing that. I love hearing that stuff after the fact. I don't like how this is supposed to be like, we're too close to it now. Like we all know it's fake. All the stuff backstage, people get too invested in stuff. Like I just wish that we could just enjoy it for what it is. I know it's crazy.
Yeah.
But...
Well, yeah. Anyway, what were we talking about before Mo dropped a bombshell on us? Oh, we were going to talk real quick about AtGames. So just couple quick heads up for people out there. As you guys know, we have the Chefs of Sauce, a group of, let's call them developers out there who have put together these amazing coin ops builds that we've all been using for years on the AtGames arcade family of products. We were talking about it, I think on Super Game Room Dudes a few weeks ago. We were talking about like, where is Coin Ops 6 or whatever. I went into one of their Facebook groups, one of the ones that the Chefs of Sauce kind of run. And I said, hey guys, what's the status on Coin Ops 6? Coin Ops X 6.0, which would be like the latest version. and they said that they were down. One reason it hasn't come out yet is they were down a lot of people. A lot of people haven't been able to test it and stuff. Mike, I even volunteered to test it because I wanted to come out. I was like, "You guys need another tester? Let me know." But it will be coming hopefully soon, and that'll be a fun new build of games to play with CoinOps X6. Also, a lot of people are still messaging me asking about Legends Unchained. Um, Legends Unchained is really, really cool, and a lot of people have access to it right now. There's a lot of people beta testing it, but it's still, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, and kudos and God bless all the hard work the guys who've been working on that project have been doing behind the scenes, because that really optimizes what your at games can do, because it replaces the operating system versus running on top of the operating system, which is what Awesome Sauce and CoinOps X do. It actually replaces it, so it's even faster and better and great performance and stuff. But I tinkered with it a couple months ago, and then I've been keeping my eyes on it, and it still, in my opinion, seems like it's more in the testing phase. You know what I mean? So once that team is like, guys, it's awesome, it's ready to go, I'll probably do some videos on it because a lot of people have been asking me if I'm going to do videos on it. So once they get a little bit closer, you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't want to say, hey guys, do this, but it's not great. Does that make sense? It's not great. It's awesome, but yeah,
Is it awesome sauce?
it's awesome. Also, looks like, hey Mike, you just did your bit LCD review video. Looks like there's going to be a new artwork package. 550 plus updated artwork is coming out per Jason. Thanks, Jason. So there you go. Does beta testing make you a beta male? No, it's time consuming, guys.
No, that's what happened to Nostalgia.
I spent a lot of time testing that Legends Unchained. It was a lot of work. And I was just a tester. Imagine the guys who are actually creating this stuff. Yeah.
So I do want to tell you, you guys have no idea how thirsty PDubs is for like AtGames news. He's in like the chat that they have where they share out the information in Skype. So they have this distribution list where they send out information. PDubs is always like, what's going on with that ALU 4K? Any news? Woo!
Well, you know why? I want pictures. I want to see pictures. Well, no, I want to see pictures of what their 4K pinball is going to look like. I want to see the 4K arcade machine. Like, are they going to revamp this? Like, is the 4K pinball machine going to look? We already know it's going to be sized differently. The body of the cabinet's going to be wider, fatter, like a normal pinball machine. It's not going to look like a shopping cart. And then we know that it's going to have the 24-inch screen in the back glass. So you know the back box is going to be about as big as that buy stuff store back box. But listen, I mean, I still want to see it. I want to see what it looks like. Now, when they say they're coming out with a 4K arcade machine, is it going to still look exactly like this, or did they make some changes to it? That's what I want to see.
That's what I want to know too. I have a feeling that the pinball is going to be different. The ALU 4K is going to be the same. I hope not, because honestly, I think I mentioned it in my video that I did about the bit LCD. One of the real drawbacks that people have when you talk to people in the home arcade space, especially people who like the Arcade 1-Up product, I'm like, geez, you're going through all this trouble to mod an Arcade 1-Up. Why not just get a Legends Ultimate? It's already ready to go. And they're like, I think it's ugly. I think it's an ugly machine. And I think some really...
Well, it is ugly. It is ugly, but I think every person needs to decide what's more important to you. Do you want the nostalgia of the looks where you're playing the game on a replica machine that looks like the game you're playing, which is what Arcade 1-Up sells? Or do you just not care? You just want to have a screen, joystick, buttons, and be playing the game. You know what I mean?
I think there's a happy medium. I know that there's certain restrictions to games. They want to have that 24-inch widescreen to make it future-proof so you can play Steam on it as well. But if you look at most other multi-cade companies, they're not going with that swan neck. And I know it's to be compact, but I think there's room there for AtGames to make it a little bit more boxy and a little bit more reminiscent of what a real arcade looks like.
That's what I would like. I would like the 4K arcade machine to come out, and it's more, like you said, boxy, and what would be cool is you also have that bit LCD like in there, kind of like this, know, or like this. I can't do it. It's mirrored. But yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. So hopefully they'll do that. I mean, if they were smart enough to say, "Hey, we should make the pinball machine look a little bit more like a pinball machine," maybe they'll say, "Hey, we're gonna make the arcade machine look a little more like an arcade machine." That'd be kind of cool. Or like a more North American style arcade
But
machine.
I don't know how far along they are in development because
Yeah. I
I
just
did
want
mention
pictures. I
I
want to
did
see it.
mention about the rotating screen. I think it's a missed opportunity not to add a rotating screen in the new ALU like they did with the ALU Mini, and they said it was too far in production. Maybe they would do it in a future iteration. So we might be too far along for them to make any changes now.
Yeah. Well, hey man, it is what it is. Whenever stuff comes out, we'll cover it. I just want pictures. I just want to see it. You know?
Yeah.
I want to judge a book by its cover. Anyway, also real quick, iArcade, I wouldn't expect iArcade to do anything this week. It appears they're in the middle of moving. Ain't that right, Mike? So
Yeah, I really quickly, I just wanted to just touch on this. I saw a lot of posts in the iArcade community fan page today about people have recently received their Retromania cabinets or a cabinet from iArcade, and unfortunately, there's some issues, whether it be buttons not working or it's missing parts, and they're like, "How do I get in touch with customer service?" They have made it very clear they're going to be down for a little while, so it might be a delay getting information back for customer service, and also a delay on whether or not parts are available. So be patient. Hopefully, they'll be back up and running in the next 2 months. Keep contacting iArcade because you want to get in and make sure that your stuff is under warranty. So don't hold off from contacting them. Just know that there's no need to run to the fan pages. You can if you want, but basically they're just out of commission until their move is done. I don't know why it's going to take so long, but it's going to take a month to maybe a little bit more. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully in the very near future.
yeah.
It's all really sad, isn't it?
It is
Yeah.
because when I did that video last week, the only message I was really trying to get across is I don't want there to be less competition in this space because less competition leads to less innovation, which means the consumers don't get better options,
Yeah.
better solutions for retro gaming, and things like that. Because we win if there's more than one company. If I honestly think if there was only one company doing this,
It'd
like
just be Pac-Man, all
it,
Pac-Man all the
it would
time.
it wouldn't be good and that's just my opinion. Everyone's entitled to their own. So hopefully whatever's going on there, they can turn around.
Can I
But
say a couple
yeah,
more things on that? I know you want to get off.
yeah,
You got other stuff to do, but
yeah,
19K Fox did his show on Sunday,
yeah.
and I think he did a really good job of explaining his view on iArcade. I don't know if I 100% agree. I like everybody saying iArcade's dead. iArcade's dead. I don't think that they're dead, but one thing that he did
Well,
say that was
the writing
clear.
the writing on the wall isn't good,
No,
Mike.
there's red flags out there, and they have done nothing to dispel any of these issues. If not, they've caused more issues from some of the communication they sent out. But
Mhm,
they're not dead. One thing he did say, though, was that as a hardware manufacturer, it looks like that line is now dead. And the thing that really resonated with me is what makes iArcade special? What made it special? What made it so exciting for a lot of the fans? I mean, if they're a software company, I mean, their game lineup's not that great. There's some okay games, but like, I mean, they openly tell you, please go try our games. These are special hidden gems. So, I mean, from a software perspective, their properties and their catalog isn't that special. You know what made iArcade so special? What made
mhm,
it good and what made me like it was their friggin' hardware. So if they're not making hardware anymore, I
mhm.
mean, they can go forward, but is some of the magic gone at that point? I mean, we all really like the iArcade machine, like good buttons, great sound, like the package. So if there's no hardware, what does iArcade have to offer?
Yeah. I think for me, I would agree with you, but also add on what was exciting and what was exciting to talk about every week about them was the what if, you know, like they could do this or it could be great or they could do this. But here's what sucks. That was the what if. That
Yeah,
wasn't the this is what it actually is today. And will the what if actually happen? Which, there's a lot of things that people have been waiting over a year for, new user interface and things like that. A lot of promises were made that haven't come true yet. And hopefully, we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. But the writing on the wall isn't pretty. But, you know, again, we want there to be more competition. We want there to be plenty of
Yeah.
companies in this space,
And
you know?
again, these are people that invited us to go to the Game and Brew. We paid for our own selves to go. They made sure that I had my cabinet early. I paid for my cabinet for people in the community that for some reason still think I got a review cabinet. I paid for my cabinet. I was just lucky enough
You
to get
did.
it early. People, they're good people. You know what? It's a good company. We don't want there to be negative things. It's just there is legitimately things out there that raise questions, and it's a little bit concerning. So that's all we are right now. Michael and John are awesome. Hopefully, this is a bump in the road. I really hope they're not giving up hardware because, again, like I said, for me,
Mm,
what makes the iArcade so special is how good the hardware is. I mean,
yeah.
and the hope that games could come out. And one that you said you didn't want on it, which 100% everybody else did, was Shredder's Revenge. And now, can you at least admit maybe there's a little bit more interest with the Shredder's Revenge DLC coming out? Maybe, just maybe, you do want
I
to see it
almost
on
forgot. I
iArcade.
almost forgot to talk about that. I put that on the thumbnail. I guess. I
Yeah.
guess we should talk about that. But yeah, that would have been cool. That would have been cool. There were a lot of games that we wanted to see happen, but then as time went by and the product was out, I remember, Mike, we had these discussions. If they did release Streets of Rage 4, let's say, that would be a great win for iArcade or Ninja Turtle Shredder's Revenge. It'd be a great win for iArcade to have those type of games on their platform. But because those games have been out for so long, the
It does
excitement level,
impact. Yeah,
the
it does
excitement
impact the
level
excitement.
and the enthusiasm, because a lot of us guys, I've played Ninja Turtle Shredder's Revenge. I put in 20 some hours on Steam playing with Hollywood Polo late at night. Every time I would hop on, he would, hey, can I join your game? And we play co-op Ninja Turtle Shredder's Revenge. Like, do you really want to go back and play it again? You know what I mean?
Yes,
So
on an arcade cabinet with online with
yeah,
friends. Yes, it would
true.
be exciting.
Okay. Okay. Well, in my opinion, it's because so much time went by, it's less exciting. You
Well,
know what I
that's
mean?
fair. When there's
Um,
a delay like that, it's a little bit harder to
yeah,
get excited about it.
yeah. But anyway, yeah, real quick, Ninja Turtle Shredder's Revenge is going to have some awesome DLC coming out. Announcement was made today. I'm not. Who is this bunny rabbit guy, Mike? I honestly can't
Scott
remember
James
who.
brought it up in the chat.
Yeah, Scott
Oh no,
James. Where
Mad
is?
Astra Gaming. Sorry, Usagi Yojimbo.
Yeah.
I have him. I have him at my parents' basement. I have my original toys still.
Okay. So this is who is this? I can't even. I don't know who this is. Who is this bunny rabbit
Get
guy?
get later into the cartoon. A little later on, call me on Facebook, and I'll throw on my DVD box set that comes in the Turtle Wagon. I'll throw on some Usabi Yojimbo episodes for you.
But this is the only new character they're adding, but they're going to add all kinds of different. I saw skins for the characters, which I got excited about. So if you did want to replay this game, you'll be able to change the colors of your turtles. They have all kinds of different costumes. New game mode. Let's see here. This was pretty cool looking. New character. They're right there. I love that. I love being able to change the color of the turtles. You know what I mean?
Well, they
Different
jump back
shades.
and forth from the cartoon to like the Playmates colors.
Mhm.
Because if you remember in the Playmates toys originally, Donatello was like brown, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And some of the turtles were light green, some of them were a really dark green shade, you
yeah.
know? So, yeah, so that's pretty cool. So, yeah, here's the new guy. I honestly don't remember this guy at all. Like, I have no idea who this guy is. He's a crossover from the TMTs. Which cartoon? The cartoon we grew up with, Mike? Or like one of these newer
No,
version
he
cartoons?
was originally in the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon. He was a
Shh,
Playmates
I don't
toy,
remember.
anyways.
I don't remember that, man. I bet Cool Toy has his toy. We should ask Cool Toy.
I have his toy. I like
I don't
cool
have
toys too.
I don't have any of the old I remember I had a bunch of the turtles and the villains, and I also had I was so excited when my parents got me. Do you remember the pizza van that
Turtle
actually
Wagon, yeah.
yeah, and it fired pizzas out of it?
Yeah.
That was really cool.
I have
Um,
one. I
no,
have one
was it pizzas or
downstairs,
was
new in
it
the box.
sewer grate covers? I can't remember. It was one of the two. But
Uh,
I had that
Manhole
toy
covers,
growing up.
maybe. Yeah.
Manhole covers, yeah. But either way, this is pretty exciting. Gives you one more reason to go play Shredder's Revenge. You have to admit, those two fighting together looked pretty cool. Splinter and Usagi. I can't say his name. Is it Usagi? Yeah, there you go. Well, we can dive into more of that later on this week. So, are you guys excited about the DLC? Give us a 1 in the chat if you're excited. Let us know. Like, I know.
Someone asked a really good question here. Did Cool Toy get the Ninja Turtles pinball machine? He did indeed. Cool Toy does have the Stern Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pinball machine. Pitbull's here in the chat. Pitbull will tell you that he thinks it's shitty and that the original, I think it's Data East Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a better game.
Yeah, a lot of the great Data East tables are awesome. The Data East Jurassic Park, the Data East Turtles.
Yeah. I like the Stern table.
Tales from the Crypt, right? Was Data East?
Love Tales from the Crypt. I'm gonna have it one day. One day, yes, it will be mine. But I still like the Turtles Stern table. I know it's Conti Dinda, who's not here. He calls it a drain monster, and it is a hard table. I wrote that to Doug. I mean, tight ramps, gameplay is not as good as it should be, but it's still a pretty good table. I mean, if you start as Donatello, you can get really easy multi-ball right away. So there is some fun to be had. See, Pitbull saying Date East is way better.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for tonight. We got a lot of stuff we got to get caught up on. So thanks so much for joining me for this impromptu live stream. Also, big shout out to Michael B. the Game Genie for joining me. Always love broadcasting with you, my friend. Hopefully we entertained you guys with a good conversation, and I appreciate all of you being part of the conversation. The live chat was awesome tonight. If you enjoyed the podcast, do me a favor, give us a thumbs up on the way out. And as always, my dudes, thank you for subscribing. We'll see you guys Friday on Super Game Room, dudes. You guys have a great night.